the top 10 most powerful alternate versions of the Flash. From different realities to insane futures, these are the fastest speedsters across the DC multiverse. Number 10, Earth 11 Flash. Very few specifics are known about the hero who wears the yellow lightning bolt on Earth 11. In fact, not even her true name is currently known, much less the identities of her friends, companions, and partners. What is known about this mysterious red and yellow clad speedster comes to us from one accidental multiversal visit and the power of deduction. First off, this Flash isn't just any other speedster. She comes from a completely gender-swapped universe. When Jason Todd, Kyle Rayner, and Donna Troy were traversing the multiverse searching for the missing Atom, they came across this familiar yet completely contrasting dimension in which all of Earth's heroes and villains were identical except for their genders. It was during this trip that we, as the audience, witnessed for the first and maybe the last time the lightning fast speeds of this world's Flash. During a fierce battle against their world's Amazons, a group of militant fighting men led by Wonder Man, the heroes of Earth 11 bravely rallied to their world's defense. As Jason, Kyle, and Donna watched, the Flash of this gender-swapped plane proved herself every bit as quick as the Barry Allen from the universe they left behind. Indeed, as the Amazonian men attacked, Earth 11 speedster went to work collecting arrows out of thin air, zipping through enemy lines, throwing punches at breakneck speeds, and whipping up tornadoes to confuse and pummel the Amazon forces with gale force winds. With her bright blonde hair and blue eyes, there can be no question that this Flash is a perfect reflection of the Barry Allen we all know and love. And it therefore stands to reason that this Flash is just as fast as Barry has ever been. Though, despite Barry's legendary status, Earth 11's Flash is not nearly the fastest female phenom on this list. Number 9, Jay Garrick. It's no secret that Jay Garrick is not anyone's top pick for the fastest Flash of all time. But make no mistake, this old-timer has earned his stripes a dozen times over and gained the undying respect of some of the most heroic figures to ever walk the Earth. Jay's legacy as the first person ever to take up the Flash name would later be overshadowed by such prolific speedsters as Barry Allen and Wally West, who truly brought the Scarlet Speedster out into the public sphere. While more modern speedsters have often been clocked running at outputs near the speed of light, by Jay's own admission, most of the time I couldn't run faster than the speed of sound. But when Barry Allen arrived on the scene and dragged Jay out of retirement, the younger Flash inspired the old-timer to push past his limits. I ran 20 times the speed of sound that day, Jay remembers fondly, but even a second-rate speedster can turn the tide when the chips are down. Jay has been right alongside Barry and Wally for many of the most arduous fights in DC Comics history, including Infinite Crisis and the more recent Dark Knight's Death Metal storyline. Though he may be the Gramps of the Flash family, and he might lag behind a bit when the speedsters find themselves charging into battle, any and all who have made the mistake of underestimating the heart of a champion that beats within Jay Garrick's chest have always lived to regret it. But you'll never regret subscribing to Plot Armor Comics with notifications on. Number 8, Danica Williams. We move now from the alternate past all the way into the alternate future, Earth 12 to be exact. There, the one and only Danica Williams serves as the Scarlet Speedster of times that have not yet come to pass. In her youth, Danica struggled with an asthma diagnosis, which prevented her from following her dream of becoming a track and field competitor. Though her inhaler would later prove useful when she developed her powers, as it prevented suspicion from mounting against her when she finally took on the mantle of the Flash. As a child, Danica took on a particularly unique relationship with the Speed Force, one that has never been replicated by any other speedster. She could both see and talk to figures of red and yellow who emerged from the Speed Force itself to converse with her. Speedsters of the past come to lend their wisdom to the one who would carry on their legacy. And Danny didn't just carry on the torch of the Flash, she pushed it forward. Within hours of discovering her powers, Danica had already mastered the extremely difficult technique of running on air by creating molecular updrafts to support her weight. This sensational act of prowess made even the great Barry Allen admit it was always theoretically possible, but no one was fast enough to attempt it. All but confirming that Danica Williams is certainly one of the fastest speedsters ever to grace the streets of Central City. Number 7, Johnny Quick. Though most of the runners on this list are undoubtedly some of the greatest heroes of their time, there will always be some who use the tremendous gift of super speed for their own ends. One such example comes to us from Earth 3, and he's one of the most twisted speedsters ever to lace up their shoes. Johnny Quick, whose post-New 52 debut came during the Forever Evil events of 2013, was a professional criminal in his own dimension. That is, before a freak lightning strike turned he and his girlfriend, Rhonda Pineda, into fully blown super-powered villains. While Rhonda was gifted with abilities similar to the Atoms, Johnny woke up with powers that perfectly matched our very own Barry Allen's. Driven by his own twisted morals and his attachment to his similarly tempered lover, Johnny quickly mastered his newfound speed. He discovered abilities and techniques that no moral-bound speedster would ever even consider, let alone attempt. When Johnny arrived in the Prime DC universe, the first thing he did was give the rogues of Central City a taste of his power when he caused a massive outbreak at Ironhide Penitentiary. While zipping through the prison, Johnny proved he was every bit as fast as the Flash by breaking security guards down to their skeletons at super speed without a second thought. And though Johnny might be equally as fast as the great Barry Allen, he's not nearly the fastest supervillain on our list. Number 6, Lady Flash. Some Scarlet Speedsters rely solely on the great and powerful Speed Force to fuel their legs. Indeed, the Speed Force is thought to be a near infinite source of power for those who run at speeds faster than most can even think. But there are those whose speed comes not from one source, but from two. Such is the case with the Flash of Earth 3, otherwise known as Lady Flash. Her speed comes from a unique marriage between the Speed Force and the use of magic. As the official keeper of the Speed Force and a member of the League of Shamans, Lady Flash is wary of relying on one single energy source for all her power. For should either magic or the Speed Force be threatened or shut down, by confining herself to a single one, she would thereby find herself powerless to assist in the defense of either. By drawing power from both sources, Lady Flash ensures that no matter what angle of attack comes her way, she'll be ready. Now, it's true that we've never seen Lady Flash unleash the full potential of her magically enhanced powers, but glimpses into how her relationship with the Speed Force mingles with her expertly honed magical abilities leave us shivering. Not only can Lady Flash move at the breakneck speeds of most speedsters, she can also channel the Speed Force with her magic to create other, far more variable effects on the battlefield. For one, Lady Flash is able to use her magic to drain a being of kinetic motion, effectively rendering them helpless and trapped until she decides to release them. And although it doesn't pertain to her speed, Lady Flash proved herself to be very wise when she led the League of Shamans away from siding with Monarch, which proved to be essential and helped the heroes eventually defeat the Madman. Unfortunately, the exact parameters of her speed are unknown, and therefore we here at Plot Armor Comics cannot say who would win in a race between her and the Prime Flashes of our universe. But considering Lady Flash is the protector of the Speed Force, it's hard not to imagine that she is one of the most powerful and dangerous speedsters in the entire multiverse. Which begs the question, who could be stronger than her? Number 5. The Red Death. DC's multiverse-twisting storyline Dark Knight's Metal took a lot of big swings, from an entire league of evil Batman to an all-out war between ancient multiversal gods and demons. But buried amidst the rubble of countless dark universes was perhaps the most terrifying form of the Flash that the cosmos has ever witnessed. This is the Red Death, a Speed Force-fueled nightmare made reality from a hellish universe of pain. The Red Death's origins are both horrific and tragic, and involve not just one Justice League member, but 2. It's no secret that Batman has suffered tremendous loss and devastating deaths in his life, but when the entire Bat family of Earth 52 fell in one terrible battle, the Bruce Wayne of that world snapped. In a desperate plan to get his family back, Batman turned to the one person he knew had the power to turn back time, Barry Allen. Bruce launched an all-out assault against the Flash, eventually chaining him to the front of the Batmobile and driving so fast that his and Barry's bodies actually merged together. Thus was born the Red Death, with an evil Batman at the wheel of Barry Allen's Speed Force-enabled body. Eventually, the Red Death was recruited by the Batman Who Laughs to join him and his master in conquering the rest of the multiverse. When the Red Death arrived in the Prime DC universe, his malformed version of the Speed Force quickly became apparent. In fact, his mere presence caused the young Wally West to rapidly age and wither to the point of near death. And he did not stop there. The Red Death was a being torn between two minds, one of Barry Allen and one of the corrupted Bruce Wayne. This meant that the Red Death had the speed and potential of Barry Allen combined with the merciless tactical mind of Batman. When he reached Central City, for example, the Red Death quickly used his powers to build an underground labyrinth in which he trapped the Prime Flash in a torture chamber of his own design, chasing the Flash around his maze of sand and stone in a souped-up super speed Batmobile, mocking him as he went. You like her, Barry? It used to take me months to build these. Now I can do it in seconds. Most who know him recognize Batman as one of the sharpest minds alive, and the thought of an out-of-control Bruce Wayne in possession of the powers of a speedster is enough to make even the most powerful monsters in the universe shiver and hide. All things being equal, though, the Red Death's power being sourced from Barry Allen gave him an extremely even playing field with the Prime Universe's Flash, and though the two might not be exactly the same speed, the difference between them is minuscule at best. We don't have enough room to go through all of the Red Death's most terrifying moments here, but we have a whole video chronicling his life and misdeeds for you to enjoy. However, the fastest speedsters of all are yet to come. Number 4. Wallace West. Perhaps there is no more awe-inspiring example of the Speed Force's power than that of the Flash in 1996's Kingdom Come. In this reality, Wallace West, upon witnessing Superman abdicate his duties, turns his back on life amongst humanity. He becomes, for all intents and purposes, a Speed Force unto himself. He zips between moments, never slowing and certainly never stopping, turning his entire city into a veritable utopia over which he cares. This Flash is in constant motion, continuously moving at top speed as he races around Keystone City, setting everything right before anything has the chance to go wrong. He prevents accidents, stops crimes, and seeks to correct any irresponsible or dangerous behavior before the mere possibility of harm comes into play. In the time of Superman's absence, the Spectre tells us, Keystone City has become a utopia. A protectorate relentlessly patrolled by a gale force once human. No one sees him, no one hears him. He runs a lonely race. But all who live here have felt his presence. He is everywhere at once, a guardian angel who rights even the most harmless of wrongs with lightning speed. In a way, Wallace West represents a tragically beautiful ending to the story of the Flash. A man who gives himself away to the Speed Force in search of a way to totally and fully protect his city. In truth, it seems from the glimpses we have of this version of the Flash that not only won't he slow down, but that he cannot. Even when he appears alongside the Justice League after giving himself up to his speed, it does not seem as though Wallace has the capacity to slow down. He still appears shaky whenever he stands still long enough to be perceived by the human eye. He constantly vibrates, unable to console his molecules into a state of rest or peace. Unable even to speak at all from this charged state. This is a Flash who has given his own potential for any semblance of calm in order to give all he can to the quest for justice and peace. But while awe-inspiring, it's unclear as to whether Wallace actually moves faster than his other multidimensional counterparts, or whether he simply has the endurance to not stop moving at top speed. In either case, it seems undeniable that this Flash is one of the most powerful, if not successful Flashes ever to don the red and yellow tights. Adorned with the trademark silver cap of Jay Garrick, Wallace gave everything to the Speed Force in return for the power to make perfect his quest to keep his city from harm. He succeeded, but at what cost? Number 3. Iris West II. In the Prime DC universe, fan-favorite Flash Wally West became the father to twins. At birth, Iris West II and her brother Jai shared their connection with the Speed Force, manifesting this relationship in different ways. Jai's relationship with his father's conduit gave him super strength, while little Iris was gifted with intangibility. But eventually, when the twins' shared connection collapsed into just one single gift during the Rebirth event, Iris became the sole inheritor of her family's legacy, taking on the name Impulse, and beginning an entirely new chapter of the Flash family's future. Iris, also known as Ira, has quickly become one of the most impressive and fastest speedsters the world has ever seen. Having her connection with the Speed Force channeled through her father Wally forged a deeper and more tight-knit connection than any other speedster has ever enjoyed. Working with the Speed Force came as naturally to Ira as breathing, and the growing pains many speedsters experience when they first develop their powers were absent in the case of Impulse. In this way, she shares a core characteristic with Danica Williams, though Impulse has the benefit of an entire living Flash family around her for support as she grows into her newfound role. Though Ira may have claimed sole ownership over the Speed Force for herself, she can still share some portion of her power with her brother when the need should arise, as seen when Ira was kidnapped and she temporarily returned Jai's powers to help her escape. This example of manipulating the laws, boundaries, and rules of the Speed Force only goes towards proving Iray's natural and prolific abilities. Impulse, known across all speedsters as a prodigy of the Speed Force, is simply one of the fastest beings ever to be born. And though she is still growing and has not yet reached her potential, it's safe to say when Iray reaches adulthood, she'll be running laps around her father. But still, there are dangerous beings plugged into the Speed Force that even Impulse need be wary of facing on the racetrack. Number 2, Future Flash. One of the Flash's more modern villains, and one of the cooler designs of Flash suit as seen in recent memory, Future Flash is a tough nut to crack narratively. Hailing from an alternate future in which tragedy has distorted Barry Allen's conception of right and wrong, Future Flash's mission was to return to the past to root out the causes he views as having precipitated the death of his protege Wally West. In a literal sense, Future Flash is Barry Allen from the future, so however fast the Future Flash runs is technically within Barry's realm of possibility. However, if put side by side on a racetrack with Barry from the present, it's highly likely the Future Flash would come out on top. This is one of the most powerful and storied speedsters with the benefit of not only age and experience, but a drive to succeed born from devastation and guilt. If there's anything Barry Allen has proven to us over the years, it's that he can always dig deeper and find the strength to push just a little bit harder in order to overcome any obstacle. The Future Flash is the beneficiary of all Barry's traits, and therefore it's difficult to imagine his past self getting a leg up on him. Additionally, in terms of raw power, Future Flash's enhanced suit includes technology that can seemingly repair any severe damage done to his physical form in combat, as evidenced by the time Future Flash's hand was blown off and his suit regrew it almost instantaneously. With the benefit of more advanced technology and 20 years worth of experience, one of the Future Flash's most impressive achievements was his fight to the death with Gorilla Grodd. Though Grodd has been one of the Flash's most pernicious and difficult villains since his debut, Future Flash made quick work of the Psychic King, planting an explosive device inside his very skull after a brief but bitter duel. Though this still leaves the question of raw speed unanswered, it certainly suggests that the Future Flash is capable of feats that the Flash of the present simply cannot yet perform. Unfortunately, a head-to-head between the Flash and his future counterpart is unlikely, as it was revealed that having two versions of Barry drop on the Speed Force's energy at the same time caused a severely unstable reaction. However, when Future Flash realized that the only way to defeat a supercharged Selkirk would be to use that instability to create an implosion and suck the villain into the void, he actually pulled Barry along with him as they ran, even as Barry tried to resist. In order to reach the speeds at which an implosion would be possible, Future Flash and Barry would need to sprint at near top speeds to generate enough energy for a cascading reaction to occur. Considering that Future Flash reached those speeds while literally dragging his past counterpart along with him is no easy feat. I mean, imagine trying to win an Olympic gold medal all while dragging along another person trying to slow you down. The strength alone necessary to succeed in such a feat is impressive, but the speed required to overcome the opposing force Barry was providing is nothing short of jaw-dropping. In the end, though Future Flash posed a threat to both Barry's reputation and personal life, his final act would be one of undeniably incredible speed, proving that Barry Allen's future only gets faster. That is, if he ever lives to see it. Number 1. Black Flash. The Grim Reaper for speedsters. The Black Flash is a terrifying visage that serves as a precursor to death and disaster for all who witness it. In some forms of the legend, the Black Flash also serves as a sort of Mercury from Greek and Roman mythology, carrying and returning those who possess a connection to the Speed Force back to the energy source at the moment of their death. This reading of the Black Flash is supported by not only Danica Williams' experience of past speedsters speaking to her from the Speed Force, but also the events of Rebirth, in which many speedsters are seen disappearing into and also returning from the Speed Force itself. There are some who believe that the Black Flash is nothing more than a form of death herself, of the endless, in a form that only speedsters witness, a form capable of capturing those who move faster than otherwise possible. Though, to be fair, the Black Flash is more likely an extension of Lady Death's immutable and unknowable form than Death herself in speedster cosplay. Regardless of exactly where the Black Flash hails from, it's what the Dark Racer does when they appear that interests us most. According to the basic rules of the universe, there is no speedster whom the Black Flash will not eventually catch up with. By virtue of his very existence, the Black Flash is undeniably the fastest racer in existence. One of the very first times the Black Flash became corporeal, it went after Wally West. Now, it's widely accepted that while Barry Allen might be the most famous Flash, Wally West, his protege and successor, is much faster at baseline. So when Death came a-knocking on Wally's doorstep, he thought outrunning this silent beast would be no sweat. Boy, was he wrong. Wally ran one of the toughest races he's ever run that day, and he still couldn't escape the clutches of the Black Flash. In the end, the Dark Racer chased Wally from continent to continent, across ocean after ocean, moving at speeds that defied explanation. Even when Wally turned up the heat and started sprinting through the time stream, when he glanced over his shoulder, he could see the inky black dot closing in on him. Wally only succeeded in deterring the Black Flash by running all the way to the end of time and then suddenly skidding to a stop. He ran the Black Flash until they were out of road, and the monster went careening past the goalposts. Left at the end of life, the universe, and everything, there was nothing for the Black Flash to subsist on, nothing for it to exist in. As such, the red and black clad racer simply ceased, and Wally's life was spared. Importantly, though, it was not Wally's speed that kept him safe, for no matter how fast he ran, the Black Flash consistently made up the difference. The Flash family hoped and prayed this would be the last they'd see of the Grim Racer, but it was not to be so. The Black Flash also famously appeared during Barry Allen's Rebirth, albeit in a slightly different form. When the corpse of the Black Flash was found in Iowa, the League rushed to investigate. But when the newly revived Barry came close to the corpse, he quickly transformed into the Black Flash himself. It was in this Black Flash form that Barry not only outran his fellow speedsters, but Superman himself, marking one of the most iconic races between the two. Of all the speedsters, no matter the time, place, or speed, the Black Flash will always take the gold. There's no outrunning death, even for the Flash. Thank you so much for watching Plot Armor Comics. My name is Jack Stansbury, and I hope you have a great day.